Welcome back, everyone, to OpenLine. We're talking about legal aid to low-income renters. We have with us DarKenya Waller. She's Executive Director of the Legal Aid Society, talking about an expansion of this eviction right to counsel program. And you wanted to really define, when we talk about right to counsel and the right to counsel program, what that means, defining right to counsel.
Yeah. So I do want to clarify, when people say right to counsel, you think it's a right, like your Miranda rights. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you. Well, this is a bit of a misnomer, more of what's commonly called universal representation, the idea that we will attempt to represent anyone who needs our assistance, but recognizing we're unable to represent everyone. As we consider ourselves like a counterpart to the public defender's office. Just like in a criminal case, you have a right to that public defender, and everyone gets a public defender if they can't afford one. There is no, oh, we don't have attorneys available. You get one. As a nonprofit and not a governmental entity, there is no right. In this scenario, there is no right to an attorney. But what we will do is do our best to represent as many people as we can, those who we cannot represent, to at least give advice, at least share some things that they can do, and give them resources that they might be able to represent themselves. And on our website, we try and keep stocked in multiple languages, different resources where people can go online, research an issue that they may be having, and get information on how to address it on their own behalf in the courts. And so I just want to clarify that when people come to the program, we may not be able to assist everyone who steps forward, because even with this significant expansion, it will not cover 100% of the need. And so we will prioritize those cases and represent as many people as we can. But I will tell you, on behalf, from the perspective of Davidson County, this is a great first step towards doing that. Many cities have adopted that the right to counsel program, where they actually do have a right. We're not quite there, but we are comparable to other cities who have gone this far. Cities like Louisville, Kentucky, Kansas City, New Orleans, Cleveland, Toledo. They all have, implemented this program in their cities. But then there are the bigger cities who've actually made it a right, like San Francisco, Detroit, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and the mothership, if you will, New York City. And ideally, that's where we'll be.
Wow, that's so interesting. So we're on par with other cities. That shows we were pretty far behind other cities prior to this expansion. Now there are 2 attorneys that deal with this. There are going to be 6. That's right. So that's a major expansion. Absolutely. You also wanted to clarify, this is not rental assistance. So if you go through this program, you're not going to get money. Correct.
That's kind of not our lane, and we try and use our expertise in our lane. But there actually are still rental assistance dollars out there, and many people, don't realize that or are not taking advantage of it. And so if you are, one of those who who were impacted by the pandemic and gotten behind in rent, but are still in your property and are hoping to get those funds so that landlords can be paid, which is what most tenants want to do. I mean, they want to pay, but whatever the situation is during the pandemic that prohibited that, they weren't able to. But we are working daily with persons who are still navigating through THDA, the Tennessee Housing and Development Agency, which still has funds available. In fact, THDA has actually only spent about 20% of the millions of dollars that they've received for rental assistance statewide. So there's still money there, significant money there, if you do need rental assistance. And through the Legal Aid Society, we help people navigate that application process to get those funds to the landlords who are waiting on them.
And in the final minute, I mean, what do you want? How would you recommend people access you?
Absolutely.
What should they do?
Well, we certainly encourage you to call our 800 number. Call us at 800-238-1443. That's our toll-free number. Once you call, you will speak with a receptionist who will take down your information, and then you will receive a call from an intake worker who will do a more full screening. That intake worker will then present your cases to the attorneys so that we can then again prioritize those cases and hopefully make a tremendous tremendous impact. If nothing more, you'll receive information about how you can advocate for yourself, whether it's a slow pay motion, as I mentioned earlier, a letter that needs to be sent to your landlord. These are all resources you can access on our website at las.org.
And we will put up that number and everything, but we're going to take a break right now. We'll come back, put up that number right after this.